Right, a very good morning. This is Oluyole 98.5 FM on the stables of the Broadcasting Corporation of Oyo State. Welcoming you to Conversation. Well, this Tuesday morning, the 23rd day in the month of December 2025. Our conversation, in case you are tuning in to the program for the very first time, here is where we bring you stories making the major headlines in the dailies. We do our best to give you top-notch analysis, in due course we get to open the phone lines. We invite you to be a part of the flow of our little talk shop. And together, we try to understand, we try to unravel, we try to make sense of those major events unfolding around our country, our nation, and our world, are supported by the dailies. Mondays to Saturdays, except Sundays, we are here, and that is what we do on Conversation. That's why the program is called Conversation. Our thoughts, views, and opinions, what we will be sharing with you as presenters and analysts, not the corporate views of the Broadcasting Corporation of Oyo State. And of course, we are networking on Oluyole FM 96.3, our sister station in Alaga, in the Okogere of the state, Agility FM, Gambari, Ubumosho, on the 92.1 FM dial. And no one beats our reach all over this great state. We are there. Beyond the Oyo State, we are there, and beyond the shores of Nigeria, just watch on via the social media platform, Facebook precisely at BCOS, and you are on to Conversation. Once again, wherever you are listening across the world, you are welcome. My name is Tola Tediba.
My name is Bimbo Akambi. Thank you very much for joining us on Conversation this morning. And yes, of course, like Tola has said, all over the world, you will meet us there, across the shores of the country, in the country, all over the country, you will meet us there. Oluyole FM 98.5 is the station, yes, the station to beat. The Conversation is the program, and we have some stories, there are some headlines making the rounds across the country and beyond.
All right, this headline, well, if it had been that we are the only ones in the world that would have said that what do the Americans have against us again, or what precisely do they have against us? It looks like they want to do us in. But then, as it happens, this doesn't affect just us. Well, it says U.S. begins partial visa ban on Nigerians 1st of January. And Mr. Trump, the American president, has been has been on and on about this. It says the United States will begin a partial suspension of visa issuance to Nigerians from January 1, 2026, following a new presidential proclamation aimed at strengthening border and national security. The U.S. mission in Nigeria announced on Monday that the restriction will take effect at 12:01 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, in accordance with presidential proclamation 10998, titled Restricting and Limiting the Entry of Foreign Nationals to Protect the Security of the United States. According to the nation, Nigeria is one of 19 countries affected by the measure. Others listed are Angola, Antigua and Barbuda, Benin, Burundi, Cote d'Ivoire, Cuba, Dominica, Gabon, the Gambia, Malawi, Mauritania, Senegal, Tanzania, Togo, Tonga, Venezuela, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. The proclamation provides for a partial suspension of visa issuance covering non-immigrant B1/B2 visitor visas, as well as FM and J students and exchange visitor visas. It also applies to immigrant visas, though with limited exceptions. Well, as we speak, it looks like the American president has already killed some dreams. Unless I don't affect those who have.
But I don't expect him to just categorize Nigeria with those countries that I'm hearing their names maybe for the first time. Tonga.
If it's about national security, the security of the United States, well, we do have security challenges in Nigeria, and there's a possibility that we could have people with a bad intent wanting to either use our country as a transit point or moving direct from our country to the United States. And well, it could have other motives beyond the official. Well, a lot of people have criticized Mr. Trump for not liking Africa, especially, and for not liking blacks, especially. But then, if you want to look at it officially, the agency has given a quite valid, especially regarding our country. If it's about national security and the way we've been handling security matters, security issues in this country, it has made us a threat to other countries, especially to our neighbors.
Yes.
These people have been using our country as a springboard since our current country is so conducive for them. They have found them a very comfortable nest in Nigeria. So they've been using our country as a springboard to make even our neighboring countries uncomfortable. So if we are doing this to our fellow Africans in the name of non-kinetic measures, that's the only means that we can deal with these people. And we are telling our own people, I mean, as a government, that they have to live with the reality of bandits and armed robbers, plaguing them and harassing them on a daily basis, and our leaders remain insulated from these attacks. So what do you expect the Americans to do? Because they do not want a spillover from our country. People will be disguised as businessmen and then come into their country from Nigeria, or as tourists to come and cause mayhem in their own country. And the Americans do have a lot of enemies all over the world. And we must understand that. So, like I said,
especially those countries that they destroyed, during their intervention for one reason or the other, like they wanted to do in Nigeria then.
So, if we do not want to be on that list, Bimbo, there are certain things we need to do, and we have to be up and doing. We must do the needful. But like I said, looks like many dreams would have been killed by what Mr. Trump has done now by this order with partial. Well, it says it's partial. It says partial. So, well, there are categories, and quite this particular category of visa ban is going to be mostly affecting ordinary Nigerians who are seeking, like I said, a dream.
Of course, yes.
Who want to have that dream of going to seeking greener pastures, who have that dream of doing legitimate business in the United States, who have that dream of studying in the United States. And that's where, that's what's most painful about these things. Even remember during the military era, when they imposed sanctions on us, the advanced nations, it is the ordinary citizens that suffer. The people who are the cause of the problem, who are the reason they are imposing these sanctions, never feel it. And they will impose that ban. Even at that time, under military, they will say that you cannot come to their country as you like. They make it very difficult for the ordinary citizen. But for those who cause the problem, that have billions of dollars stashed away in their banks, it's a free way. They are free to come. They are free to do whatever they like. They are free to go and come. So you begin to wonder. Sometimes I sit down and I try to rationalize.
I think that was during the Abacha regime. Yes, when we were expelled from the Commonwealth. We'll take a short break now. We'll be back.
Unveiling of Oyo at 50 logo and 50-day countdown ceremony. Ọ̀yọ́ state at 50. bí àná lórí nígbà tó gbó kọ. ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ oríire yìí wá pọ̀. lásìkò yìí láfẹ́fẹ́ ayọ̀ ń fẹ́lẹ́lẹ́lẹ́. gbogbo onípojúpọ̀ nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ á kú oríire Ọ̀yọ́ state golden jubilee. oníṣòwò nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ oníṣòwò òṣìṣẹ́ ìjọba gbogbo lórí olókoòwò àgbẹ̀ ọmọ bíbí àtàjèjì nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́. pọ̀pọ̀ ṣìnṣìn ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ lọ́jọ́ kẹẹ̀ẹ́dógún oṣù kejìlá ọdún 2025. ìṣàfihàn ìdámà tó ń ṣèdáyàtọ̀ àmì àádọ́ta ọdún ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ Ọ̀yọ́ state golden jubilee. ó tó yọ̀ sí àkọ́kọ́ ọdún ẹlẹ́lẹ́yìn ọmọ bíbí ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́. ẹ jẹ́ kó máa sọ kúlúkúlú ló kan àyà yín. 50-day countdown látọjọ́ Monday ọjọ́ kẹẹ̀ẹ́dógún oṣù kejìlá ọdún 2025. àjọṣe wa ní Ọ̀yọ́ state golden jubilee. ọ́fíìsì gómìnà secretariat Agodi Ìbàdàn láti bẹ̀rẹ̀. aago 10 àárọ̀ ní lọ́jọ́ náà. ìdùnnú ńlá ló jẹ́. tírú àjọ̀dún yìí sojú wa. tójú wa sì ń ríṣẹ́ ribiribi. lásìkò gómìnà Ṣèyí Mákindé nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́. gbogbo èèyàn ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ẹ pariwo ayọ̀. ìkéde yìí wá láti ọ̀dọ̀ alága ìgbìmọ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ state at 50.
Honourable Saheed Akíade Fìjàbí.
àjọṣe gbogbo wa ní gómìnà Ṣèyí Mákindé gómìnà tó bùkún ọlá nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ẹ kú oríire o.
Right, we're back, and it's good to know you are still there. The program is still Conversation on Oluyole 98.5 FM.
Yes, I have this story. I'm still talking about the autonomy now, local government autonomy. Now, the Association of Local Governments of Nigeria and the National Union of Local Government Employees have thrown their weight behind President Bola Tinubu's plan to enforce direct deductions of council funds from the Federation account Allocation Committee. Even as state governments continue to retain control over allocations to local governments, remember that President Tinubu said he threatened that he will execute he will impose the executive order.
And they should.
Yes, for local governments to be collecting their monies directly. And during the 15th National Executive Committee meeting of the All Progressives Congress of the State House Conference Center in Conference Center Abuja, Tinubu urged state governors to comply with the Supreme Court ruling granting financial autonomy to local governments.
Okay, so the council chairmen have found their voices at last, and I hope it does mean that they have indeed found their voices. Now since President Tinubu said this, maybe he has promised them to have their back, and he has promised to protect them from the governors. Because, initially, like I said 2 days ago, I believe that more than the governors themselves, the local government chairmen are also a problem when it comes to the implementation of financial autonomy for local governments. Many of them being unpicked and practically installed by the governors. They are in the pockets of the governors, except in very few cases where the political situation of that state is very peculiar. Maybe as in the case of Rivers State, for instance. Now that it looks that they found their voice, maybe we should look forward to a showdown between them and their governors. But even as we speak, hardly would you see a local government chairman now that would want to even grant an interview on this matter, because they are afraid of the governors.
They will not.
But we'll see how it goes. I think Mr. President should have enough political will to wield the big stick in this matter.
Yes. And well, according to the Punch here, what I am seeing here, it was learned that the state governments received control over at least 7.43 trillion naira meant for local government councils between July 2024 and December 2025, despite the landmark Supreme Court ruling mandating direct financial autonomy for councils across the federation. Well,
Mr. Sunday is in the news again. Well, it looks like he went dark for quite a while, but then there are, if you want to draw him out, Bimbo, there are certain things that you just need to do. You just harm his people and harm any Yoruba, and then you will draw Mr. Sunday out. That's what he's known for, the interest of the Yorubaris. Well, here is saying, he says Igboho demands federal government action as gunmen kill farmers in hometown. Well, that's Chief Sunday Adeyemo, Yoruba Nation activist, known as Sunday Igboho, popularly known as Sunday Igboho, on Monday raised the alarm over the killing of 3 farmers during a fresh attack by gunmen in Igboho, his hometown, in Oluyole local government area of Oyo State. Now, Chief Adeyemo, in a statement to in Ibadan, called on President Bola Tinubu and the federal government to urgently address the growing insecurity in rural communities across Oyo State and other parts of the southwest to avert further violence and chaos. According to a statement authorized by Chief Adeyemo, the victims were identified as Aderoju Mukaila, Olawuwo Saka, and Ojeni Ojebayo. Though the victims were rushed to hospital after the attack, they later succumbed to their injuries, despite efforts by medical personnel to save their lives, the statement said. Igboho lamented what he described as the government's failure to respond decisively to repeated warnings about rising insecurity in the area. And well, on Sunday, quoting Mr. Sunday Igboho now, 3 innocent people were murdered in my town, Igboho. This is exactly what I've been warning the government about for years. Nothing has changed. And people continue to suffer attacks while those responsible roam freely, he said. Well, like I always say, Bimbo, what I'm worried about mostly regarding these developments, these events, is the fact that, like I always say, what we feared most has come upon us. These people are here. We knew when they were just some towns away from us. Yes. We knew when they were far away. We knew when they came nearer. We knew when they came some doors away from us, and we knew when they came next door
to us.
Now they are here. Bibo, unless we want to deceive ourselves. They are here, they are very much amongst us, and then I do not know how we are going to solve this problem. Honestly, if you ask me, I do not know.
Well, that is up to the security agencies to, you know, to solve. Now, I am thinking along one line here, talking about Ogoni land. The federal government has ordered the immediate beefing up of security at all dormant oil wells in Ogoni land, that is in Rivers State, to prevent interference and acts of sabotage. And the government also vowed to identify and prosecute those linked to the massive oil spill at the Yola oil field in the Kepian community, Kana local government area of the state. Well, I don't know. It's talking about those behind. That is talking about maybe, of course, we will know the IOPs, the politicians. That is what I believe. The National Security Advisor, Nuri Badu, disclosed this on Monday when he led a federal government delegation to assess the extent of devastation at the spill site in Beyan, Ogoni land. And recall that the massive oil spill ravaged the oil field in September, destroying farmlands and vegetation in the area. This has been on for a long time, very long time. And I remembered when President Obasanjo, assumed office as President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I think he said he will, bring up a plan to clean up Ogoni land. But
they always say they have that plan to clean up Ogoni land, but then it's always bogged down by bureaucracy, corruption, and then sometimes talking about corruption, the people of that area, their leaders too, are rather complicit. Remember the issues that led to the matter of the Ogoni 9 and the execution of Ken Sarauwa,
yes.
And while that the Ogoni 9 denied that until the moment they were executed, horribly executed by the military junta. What the junta said was that the Ogoni 9 were responsible for the murder of some elders that compromised in the matter regarding the effort to address this same matter of oil spill and devastation of Ogoni land. Well, Ken Sarauwa is gone now, but what he died for and the others, and maybe perhaps the reason those chiefs too were killed, the problem is still very much there with the Ogoni people. They are a battered people, they are subdued people. They have been cowed through the years, especially under the Abacha regime. The scars will never go away. I remember the movement for the survival of the Ogoni people versus the then task force in Ogoni land, led by Lieutenant Colonel Paul Okuntimu. I will never forget it. I wasn't there in that place, but then the news, the feelers coming from that place, the man was a butcher. I don't know if he's still alive. At some point, he became military administrator of Rivers State, rewarded for a job well done by way of butchering the people of Ogoni land. And and I'm sure people of Ogoni land will never forget him. He became a brigadier general at some point. He was Abacha's hatchet man in Ogoni land. So for you to know the level of devastation, killings, rape, devastation of communities, not just by oil, but by men carrying rifles, men in uniform carrying rifles. So, but the problem as that led to it all in the first place has still refused to go away.
Yes.
But this one here, it says Nigeria leads as Africa's instant payment transactions hit $2 trillion. That's coming from SHPS. And capital importation declined 62% to $1.13 billion.
Tola, before we leave the Ogoni land issue, I was just thinking just now, that is it that President Tinubu has said security should be beefed up, at dormant oil wells in Ogoni land. can you link it with maybe Donald Trump's move again?
Okay.
His personal interest, his interest in Nigeria.
But then, if he goes to Gorilla, it will be good. I mean, if the actual reasons is saying he wants to come to Nigeria with guns blazing, so if he goes to Gorilla, he will be going to the wrong place. Because we all know where the real trouble is. So if he diverts maybe from northern Nigeria and decides to come down south, and then he decides to go to the Niger Delta to end insecurity, well, we know there are still pockets of trouble in that area too. But if that's the first place he goes, then he would have confirmed to many Nigerians that what he's looking for is not actually the peace of Nigeria, that he's actually after something else. And like I always say, the Americans are not that nice. So if they are saying that they want to come and help us, I've said this many times, if they say they want to come and help us fight insecurity, in the first place, I was discussing with a colleague of mine in the newsroom yesterday, and we went back to this matter of Mr. Donald Trump. I mean, what led to the discourse was the fact that the Nigerian government said that whatever diplomatic war that they have with the Americans has been resolved. So I was now saying, so my colleague was asking, okay, so Trump will want money. And I now said what I said that he's not likely to come. And my friend asked me the reason. I said he won't come because let's look at it this way. What's in it for him? Exactly what do they stand to gain? They don't do anything if they are not. They don't put their resources anywhere, unless, of course, that they are going to be doing it together on humanitarian grounds with several other countries. But for them to intervene directly in a particular country, they must have some. So what does he have to gain? It's going to be they're going to be spending money. They are going to be sending human resources to Nigeria. For something that is particularly they call it a war against terror. So my colleague now said, okay, that what they are coming to do will be strictly humanitarian to save the lives of people who have been killed, who have been persecuted, Christians especially. And I told my friend, nice, they are not that nice. Nice to hear. For them not to have anything on the ground. And the truth, Bimbo, is that I also spoke to a friend, a female friend that works with an NGO, this international NGO, a very big international NGO, and she told me yesterday that there is no NGO that would intervene in your country. That they have underlying reasons for intervening, for helping you. They have something for every NGO that intervenes. There is something they have to gain in your country.
Yes.
And if they say that there is nothing that they are good, well, she actually, I don't know if this is true, but she actually told me that. That for every international NGO that intervenes, there's something on the line that they want from you.
Yes, that is true. I believe it. Now, I'm seeing this one. This is kind of confusing news in Borno State. Borno State recently banned the use of motorcycles in that state, and now President Tinubu has, unveiled some motorcycles, electric bikes. Yes, in the state. Now, residents of Borno State are expressing confusion following the unveiling of 3,000 electric bikes by President Bola Tinubu, even as the state maintains its ongoing ban on motorcycle use. And during a state visit on Saturday, President Tinubu inaugurated a fleet of electric vehicles that included 3,000 bikes, 500 tricycles, 100 cars, and 20 42-seater buses. Yes, that is that is where the confusion lies now.
Well, sadly, the Borno State government has to introduce that blanket ban because the bikes are a favorite of the terrorists
and bandits
ravaging that state. That's what they use to ply their evil trade. Well, I don't really support that kind of blanket ban on motorbikes, but then it became necessary. It became imperative for the government to do that as part of measures. But then, well, I don't know. I'm actually confused myself as to. So, if the government has banned bikes and the federal government is introducing Well, the 3,000 bikes, who is it being delivered to? Does the government, the federal government, already have people? Do you have a list of beneficiaries, or it's going to be done via a scheme in collaboration with the state government, or the state government will be profiling who and who will be getting the bikes maybe
and tricycles,
maybe on soft loan basis, so that they have to be sure that you are not a criminal. But then what if the criminal snatch the bikes from them? But then there's just about as much as they can snatch out of 3,000 bikes.
And then, well, maybe it will be for private use. They want to distribute it for people, private owners. We'll take a short break. We'll be back.
Any motor where you dey drive, you need confirm protection, no, for your engine, no. Get make a mobile, make it mobile, no, make it mobile. Anywhere you dey, your motor deserve to be number one, yo. Make it mobile, no, make it mobile. You carry the go, make everybody join me, say, make it mobile.
Make you go with the best.
Make it mobile.
Charity ẹni fẹ́ ṣàríyá o, gbogbo ẹni fẹ́ ṣàjọ̀dún, àbẹ́ni fẹ́ ṣèpàdé o, gbogbo ẹni fẹ́ ṣènáwó. BCOS event grand, òun yẹn máa bọ̀. BCOS event grand, òun ló kájọ ẹ̀ fún gbogbo ayẹyẹ èyí tẹ́yìn bá fẹ́ ṣe. BCOS event grand, òun yẹn máa bọ̀ o. Bóyá wá gbé mi débẹ̀ yóò, ilé akéde. Bóyá wá gbé mi débẹ̀ yóò, BCOS event grand. BCOS event grand níbi tílẹ̀ ti tẹ́jú àyè ìgbọ́kọ̀sí ń bẹ ìyẹn pọ̀ jaburata. BCOS event grand ìyẹn nílé akéde oríta Báṣọ̀run nílùú Ìbàdàn. BCOS event grand òun yẹn máa bọ̀ o. Ohun tá à ń sọ ni pé fọ́nírúurú ayẹyẹ tẹ́yìn bá fẹ́ ṣe ó ti wù kó fẹjú tó. BCOS event grand òun ló kájú ẹ̀ òun ló káàtó. ṣókùn àgbàlẹ̀ yìí fẹ́ ṣe ni tàbí ìgbéyàwó tàbí birthday tàbí open year crusade. ó sì jẹ́ book launch ní tiyín ni. ẹ máa bọ̀ ẹ̀yẹ sáti kàn sí wa ní yàrá kẹrin commercial department BCOS ilé akéde tàbí kẹ́ ẹ pè sórí BCOS customer care line tololong 0915-870-3300. BCOS event grant ilé àríyá fáwọn tó mọ bó ṣe ń lọ.
All right, we're back. It's good to know you are still there. The program is still a conversation.
And before we go on, they still talking about the bikes and tricycles electric that was presented to Borno State government by the president. The Borno State Police Command reiterated that the ban on motorcycles, including electric and petrol-powered bikes, remains in force.
But Bimbo, when will the governor of Niger State or any other governor in across the country, especially northern Nigeria, when will they receive the next batch of distinguished, august, freed abductees at a government house, at their respective government houses? Well, the latest Governor Bagu of Niger State has received the freed Niger peoples as usual at the government house. And looking at this headline, I was wondering that is the governor thinking along the line that I no longer want to host these kind of visitors. I no longer want to receive these kind of guests. And is he doing anything like that, or is he waiting that only a matter of time before I receive another batch? Freed Niger peoples, teachers received by the governor, and then, like I always say, they celebrate this as if this is an achievement. Instead of quietly returning these people to their parents, doing the needful, taking care of them, making sure they've not been indoctrinated while they were in the custody of those people, debriefing them, giving them medical care, and then returning them. Well, if people are asking for evidence, the pictures will be there. Just take the pictures and show it to people that these people are indeed okay and well. But then you celebrate as if you've recorded a major achievement, something we should be sad about. Now we should be worried. But like I always say, this shouldn't have happened in the first place. The rescue 130 pupils and teachers who had spent nearly 1 month in captivity were handed over to the Niger State government yesterday by security agencies. Also yesterday, Chief of Defense Staff, CDS, General Oluyole, commended troops for their bravery, professionalism and swift response in the successful rescue of the remaining 130 pupils and teachers of St. Mary's Catholic Primary and Secondary Schools, Papiri, in Niger State. Well, General Oluyole is sounding very much at the same time like a politician and a diplomat.
Were they rescued or were they released?
That's why I said the man is sounding like a politician and a diplomat. He has learned the ways of the politicians because he has up with them and then he has worked with them. So he knows how they talk, he knows how they sound, he knows what to say, he knows what not to say. They were rescued according to, trying to tell us that a military operation was carried out and they were rescued. So what kind of operation that we are not hearing that any of those people was arrested or was neutralized by the bullets of the military? Receiving the freedom baptism in Mina, Governor Umar Bago expressed gratitude to God and security agencies for the successful rescue, describing it as unprecedented. As unprecedented in Nigeria's history. So you see, he's celebrating this. It has never happened like this in Nigeria for such a large number of abducted persons to be rescued unhurt, Bago said. Addressing concerns about discrepancies in the number of abducted peoples, the government explained that initial confusion arose due to panic and poor record keeping. Now, the information available to the Office of the National Security Advisor and the Department of State Services was that about 230 pupils and teachers were abducted. Any discrepancies will be addressed by the school authorities and the Catholic Church, he said. Now, on whether ransom was paid, the governor said, I don't think it is fair, instead of just answering the question, hear what he said. I don't think it is fair to ask whether money was paid or not. The most important thing is that the children have been recovered unharmed. How it was done is for us to know. The government also expressed concern about the practice of admitting very young children into boarding schools, describing it as irresponsible. But it's not irresponsible to admit young children into marriage.
Yes.
It's not irresponsible to give 12-year-olds and 10-year-olds to people old enough to be their grandfathers in marriage. He won't see that happening right under his nose. He's talking about young children going into boarding school.
Like you said, he's a typical politician now. He has learned some moves from the politicians that will say what they have not seen. They will just coin one kind of story, and put it to the public.
Yes, I agree with him that underage boarding should be addressed, but at the same time, underage marriage should also be addressed. We see senators marrying them damsels from Egypt, damsels as young as 12 years old. Former governors doing that. So, he said it's fair to ask whether ransom was paid or not. Yes, if ransom was paid, it was paid for a good purpose to save the lives of these people. But then that ransom also came from taxpayers' money.
Yes,
we cannot tell that it is his money that was used to pay the ransom. So people have the right to ask questions.
Yes, that is it. The government is responsible to the people. Yes, they have the right to ask
questions
whether ransom was paid or not. So you should not just go behind the mic and start saying what is not supposed to say.
And like I said, those terrorists are still there in the bush. Their location is known. So is Governor Bago waiting for the time that he will again have to host another set of kidnapped students or kidnapped persons? And then this is like an annual ritual or maybe a quarterly ritual that happens not just in Niger State but in other parts of the country.
Yes, still talking insecurity now. Oyo, Ogun, Lagos launch joint task force to flush out terrorists. And the traditional ruler of Iwo, the Oluwo, with due respect, he is claiming that no terrorist group resides in Iwo. Well, I wonder how he has come to, get that information.
Well, it's a traditional ruler, maybe local intelligence gathering, maybe community intelligence gathering.
Maybe he's always everywhere at the same time.
But Kabisi must be very sure. If he's saying this, he has to be very sure, because then nobody knew that they would strike in Ora Igumino.
Yes.
And they were there.
Now, Oyo, Ogun and Lagos states yesterday launched a joint security operation aimed at tackling rising security threats along major highways and urban centers in the region, and the initiative sought to ensure the safety of commuters, residents and businesses, particularly along high-risk areas of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway and adjoining routes. Yes, Oyo State Police Command, Oluyole, Ibadan, that is the special advisor to the governor, Sheyi Makinde on security matters, CP Fatai Owoseni, welcomed the initiative during a conference, saying it reflected the Southwest state's resolve to adopt proactive measures in tackling insecurity. And well, that is what I always advise, and people always advise proactive measures. Now, meanwhile, following rumors of an existing terror group in Iwo Land, Osun State, Oba Abdul Rashid Akambi yesterday faulted news of the existence of a terror group in the town. It will be recalled that an Islamic group based in Iwo was trending last week on social media supporting the Palestinian state, as the leader of the group was seen leading disciples to recite Arabic text in support of the crisis-ridden state.
Oh, okay, I see. So, because an Islamic group supporting the Palestinian state, well, maybe people decided to brand them as a terrorist group. I think the only thing job for the security agencies to make sure that well, they are a religious group, and nothing more. If they want to support the Palestinian state, I don't think there is anything wrong with that. They have every right, as long as they are not violent about it, as long as they do not whip up extremist sentiments. And that's for the security agencies to ascertain that not much more beyond what they are doing. You have the right to support the Palestinian state if you want to.
But you remember how the Boko Haram started, how they said no, they were just doing campaigns that no to Western education, no to Western education.
Well, Boko Haram initially was sorry to say this, they were initially being sponsored by politicians, a politician, I would say, in the guise of religion.
Yes, and they became violent later
when their leader was killed.
Mohammed Yusuf.
In questionable circumstances, died in police custody, in controversial circumstances.
Yes.
But then initially, they were more of a political group, shrouded in the garb of religion. All right, let's open the phone lines. We have our first caller here.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Tola, Mr. Bimbo.
Good morning, Mr. John.
John calling from Ilorin.
Good to have you, sir.
Some people, they rather keep quiet instead of talking. You use taxpayer money to release our children, and you are telling us we don't need to ask. So why won't we ask questions? We all pay tax, and we demand to know what our money is used for. If you said it was the military intelligence, is that intelligence could not arrest a single person? Or you just went there, they slept off, and you took our children? It's better the man just shut his mouth. Then Mr. Bola, Mr. Bimbo, I like the Dr. Ayelabongo, raised an issue a month ago, and I witnessed this in a way that looked horrible to me. During the weekend, I was coming from Jeba to Ilorin. Suddenly, my driver slowed down, and I asked what happened. He said, Oga, a walker. And when I looked, I said, maybe they are police. He said, they don't look like policemen. I said, if they don't look like, please come back. So while turning back, I said, when you get to somewhere, just stop. Let's see if vehicle will pass. We could ask them if they were truly policemen or not. So we stayed for around 10 minutes. So 2 vehicles passed. So the other one coming was very slow. So my driver had to stop in that. Those people over there, they police. They said they are police. Oh, I said, okay, let's go. My heart was in my mouth. When we got there, we found out that they were police. No single one was putting in uniform. They look tattered, they look haggard. And I said we were scared though. So you are police. They said they are police. Okay. We know when we thought maybe you forgot something somewhere. I didn't forget something. You should be putting on uniform. Not just told me, okay, they go. Now you put us for work. Well, you don't argue with someone carrying gun. So they just get quiet. Now, where is who? Who is police? Who is bandit? Because if those people that call themselves police saw you with money, huge cash, they could kill you. And at the end of the day, the police will deny they are not policemen. I ask them, are you not proud of this job? You will never see an army officer wearing something on his uniform. This one does not even have uniform at all. If you have a special operation, you can go for a special operation without wearing uniform. But on the road, with this insecurity level in this country, I think they should do something about it. Let police on the road put on their uniform so that we can differentiate between bandits and policemen. Enjoy your day. Good morning, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. John. We have a commercial break and we'll be back.
èyíkéyìí ọkọ̀ tó bá ń wà. onílọ àbò tó péye. máa dágunlá jẹ́ kó jẹ́ mú bí o. níbikíbi tó bá wà ló fún ojúlówó. ó yá sọ pé. jẹ́ kó jẹ́ mú bí o. lóbi ní ìṣúlẹ̀ ọjọ́. jẹ́ kó jẹ́ mú bí o. lọ pẹ̀lú ojúlówó.
I beg you get change. I won't give customer. I don't get to. Get First Money Merchant POS. Let customers pay with cards and never miss a sale. Don't let no change cost you sales. With First Money Merchant POS, enjoy fast payments, instant settlement, and secure transactions. Visit any First Bank branch or sign up on www.firstbanknigeria.com/get your POS to get yours today. First Bank, you first.
Right, we're back at the still conversation on Oluyole 98.5 FM.
000555008500705555185. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
This is Dr. Ayela Bubu calling from Lanlate.
Good to have you, sir.
Many people or many officers we think that we are not so friendly about police issue. We have several police officers that are so good, so performing, so energetic, and so loyal. But the point of contention, like Mr. John has rightly said, why is it that we cannot differentiate between the real police, the conventional police, and those who are the men of the underworld on the road? When you are going, and I give example, I'm on my way to Saki. There's many police things there, but notwithstanding, we appreciate them, we even applaud them. But why do you have to offer your uniform, your identity? The difference between a police and a non-police is the name tag and then the number. If anything happens, you will not be able to identify, and you will not be able to see whether they are real police or not. Go to the road, in the bush, in the forest, you see a roadblock. Notwithstanding, it's good for our security. But what we are saying, let's that the DP should not sit in their office ordinarily. Let them go out and monitor their people. The way some people are behaving is not normal, it's not good enough. In some of them, I'm not generalizing it, and I've said it before, that we have many good officers, so friendly. But when you go to roadblock and you see people and the police drinking, and cover his uniform, you cannot identify them. That is what we are saying. The CP should come out, the DPO should come out in their terrain to monitor their people. They are so good and they are so friendly to us. Thank you, Dr. Ayelabogo from Langate.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Ayelabogo. Well, Bimbo, the US president has recalled envoys from Nigeria and 29 other countries, and it says it is an effort to reshape the US diplomatic posture abroad, whatever that means.
Well, that is his problem. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Afala.
Good morning. Good to have you.
On the issue of and if you see, when we were in secondary school, when there was shortage of water, we want to wash in the morning. We just use a small bowl of water to wash our armpits and our public places, our body, and we say to ourselves that we are done. And that's what our leaders are doing in this country. They love to go to the answer. They don't want to show any answer, any workings at all. They just want to. They always wish problems to just go away, to flew away. No, they don't want to do anything. That's what happened to governors in the north, trying to justify what is happening. You see these people. They say the largest number of rescues is performed in the history of Nigeria. What have you done? But that's what they want to count as achievement before they negotiated and bring out children. But I don't blame them. In the situation of Nigeria, some of them are not supposed to be in that place. But what can we do? Then on the issue of a terrorist in Iwo, that man wasn't a terrorist. The man wasn't the man that was referred to. It was not Mufti that. He was just a wannabe who wants to associate with Islamic State and all that. He was the one that invited Gumi, and on Facebook he used to say a lot of foolish things. But one thing is, I just look at him and laugh because he doesn't know what he's getting his hands into. No, there are defenses for you. Yeah, there are no defenses for you. Look at last week when US strikes and ISIS members through missiles. They kill about 4 or 5 of them, their chiefs. You that they don't know before. If they want to strike now, will they include you too? Good morning.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Jide from Ekolaba. Federal government says no going back on tax law from January 1st.
Yes, we had that before. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good to have you, sir.
God will bless you and Jesus' name. The issue of policemen putting on another clothes above their uniform, I think to them it's a precautionary measure. I remember I was once a member of staff of Boeing University, a pioneering staff member for that matter. Some armed robbers came to rob some banks that very year. So 3 generational banks are not the same line along the road. We were all panicked. Everybody was running a task taker. I had some policemen stationed here. But before you know what was going on, they immediately became citizens. I don't know how they did it. They were just like any one of us. So they always have at the back of their mind that in case anything like this happens, it can quickly stop. So that is a situation to them precautionary measure. And as far as the northern customers are concerned, I am very, very sorry to say this. Their thinking is different from our own thinking. We know what we prioritize is nothing to them. We prioritize human life, education, and many other things. Down south here, with them, nothing. They only major in my law. So that's the reason why they classify releases of students and staff members of schools, whether they ransom or not, they don't know, they don't want to know. My fear is that banditry, terrorism, and all sorts, I'm very sorry to say, we are not going to stay in this country unless there is a defined intervention. Good morning, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Akombi Adebayo. Court dismisses Kwamon's application to halt selection process for next Awujale. So Babali Jobe seems to have hit a brick bat.
Yes. Well,
a brick wall.
A brick wall. Yes. This last call here now. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, calling from Oluyole.
Good to have you, sir.
Yes. First of all, I want to congratulate you on this program. It's the best program of the year. There's no doubt about that.
Thank you, Mr. Jamaica.
You are doing a wonderful job. I'm going to continue being with you.
Amen.
Yes, as the right caller said about banditry and terrorists in this country. This Christ, it's only God that can save for in this country. So what I'm saying essentially, government should don't do needful. They should try their possible best to get rid of these people. Because when they go in this country, maybe one day we wake up. I don't want to say the remaining one. God bless you. Have a nice day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, Governor Makinde met with the Alaafin and the Olubado yesterday, immediately after I signed the 2026 budget into law, and said he invited them into the coffee room after good photographs at the photo gallery, and the meeting lasted barely 15 minutes. I guess maybe must have discussed something very crucial with them, and that could be why they were there in the first instance. But the details were not made known as at press time. Remained unclear. All right, check your time is 7:30, and we have to go. We had an interesting time on the conversation, and we'll be back same time tomorrow morning, God willing. My name is Tola Teriba.
And my name is Bimbo Akombi. Thank you very much for listening, and enjoy your day.
Ìlẹ̀kẹ̀ ní tàwọn ìjòyè Olúyọ̀lé 98.5 FM